Hello and welcome to SketchUp Live. It's Friday, it's noon Mountain Time, and we're here, so we're doing SketchUp Live. My name's Aaron Dietzen, and with me is my buddy Justin Horseman.
That's right. Stoked to be here. This is probably the best way I could think of spending a Friday afternoon. Unless we had ice cream. Maybe we should have ice cream in the future.
You know, I think it's probably not impossible that could happen before the night ends tonight. So, in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I can almost assure that is what's going to happen. So,
With 100% certainty, we will be having ice cream tonight.
that's right.
But I'm curious, how's everybody doing? Where is everybody tuning in from? We have a very exciting stream today talking about skyscrapers.
It's been a
What?
while since we did a big tower.
Yeah, I think the last time was when Matt modeled one of them, I
That's
think.
right.
And
That's
yeah, architectural feats, some say, structural feats. And this one is no different. This is the Waterline, which, when it's completed, will be the tallest building in Austin, Texas.
right.
74 stories of mixed use. Uh, and it is, yeah, it's a big one. It's a whopping 1,022 feet tall. When it's
Wow.
done, we'll see.
That's cool. Yeah, so we'll be working off of plans and conceptual renderings, but that's more than enough for us to get a good model in 2 hours. Um, yeah, I want to give a shout out real quick to I don't know if anybody from 3D Summit, SketchUp 3D Summit, which is happening in Denver. It happened for the last 2 days. The last day is today. I don't know if anybody from there is watching, but if you are, you guys are awesome. It was so much fun. I got to go down there and spend a couple days, uh, do a couple sessions, talk for a little bit, but mostly it was fun to just hang out, SketchUp community. It was a great time. As far as I know, Michael Brightman, the guy who puts it on, is planning on doing it annually. So keep an eye out for that next spring, uh, maybe the end of winter. Watch for ads for 3D Summit because it was a great time. It was a lot of SketchUp experts. I saw some stuff I had never seen before in SketchUp. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, that is saying something. If Aaron has never seen it, that is really saying something.
and I got to meet a couple people who said they were regular viewers of the this Friday show. So that was pretty awesome too. It was great to get to hang out and you know get positive feedback. I ignored the
Yeah.
negative, just took the
Yeah.
good stuff in.
Yeah, we don't address that. But yeah, it sounds like you're coming off like just a big old week of public presenting. And so what's one more little stream for you, you know?
That's right. Already did a live model once this week. Let's just double up. Yeah, this is going to be a
Let's
good one. This is going to be fun. Yeah, we're gonna work off of a couple of drawings I was able to find, and we should probably stop introducing the thing and do the thing.
yeah,
Let's do
let's
it.
just dive right in.
Let's hop. Let's go.
All right, let me get all this set up 1 second. Uh,
All right, looking good. Justin's gonna fine tune that, I'm sure. We'll
oh
see some
yeah.
stuff bounce around. There we go.
Sorry
Um,
about that, folks. We had some last minute restarts just in the final hour, so bear with us while we get things set up.
it should also probably be noted that the Restream is the service we use to stream to multiple platforms. We're talking to you guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the same time. But it's also the software we use to connect all the streams of information coming out from us together. And the version we're using is actually a beta. So, yeah, sometimes stuff changes a little bit and there's bumps in the road, but it's all part of the fun, I guess. Um, Hey, just call out. Peter purchased a copy of 2025 SketchUp last week. That's awesome. Welcome to the family, Peter. Uh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of which, it looks like we have our international family here in attendance. We have some folks from Toronto, from Halifax, UK, from Norway, from Devon, UK, and then of course we have here us in Denver, and it's nice. It's nice that we have a worldwide audience tuning in for this. We
It
appreciate you
is.
guys.
That's very cool. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. All right. So let's take a look at what it is we're doing here. I got a couple of images I'm just going to drop in here on the ground. So, like I said, these are all renders because this building is not done. So we'd have to model backwards to. No, that doesn't work. We'd have to model sometime in the future to get real pictures. But you can see here, this is kind of where we're working from. We got this kind of base plaza area. I'm assuming this is kind of commercially. Restauranty kind of stuff, and then we move up into a very unique shape for the tower. Just a little bit of a curve on it as it goes up on the front. And then this open section, which I feel like we're seeing this more and more in modern architecture, where they get this, I don't even know what you call this, mezzanine level. I don't know what this is,
Yeah.
but uh yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for all the folks that are like living in the skyscraper to like, be able to escape outside. There's probably some nice seating up there, maybe even some trees, maybe.
I always wonder because one of the things that I don't take for granted, I'm very intentional about appreciating this, that with having two dogs, I have a fenced yard that I can just open the door and let them go out anytime. I realize people who have pets and they live in places like this. I kind of wonder if that's if there's an outdoor pet relief area with that too. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll dive more into that later with pet relief. But for now, we're focusing on the details of the tower.
look at a little grassy area in there. Oh, sorry. I just had that thought. I was kind of curious. Um, so then as we continue up, you can see that this kind of flares out up into kind of a crown type thing here on the penthouse level. But yeah, a very cool tower. There's a little bit of distortion on this, I think, but we have a couple other images I want to show real quick. This is more of a ground level image. So kind of, I wanted to get a shot of this, like I said, what I'm assuming is kind of the commercial area down here, but you can kind of see how that goes up. Very cool architecture, cool building. Um, I do like these offsets, kind of a little bit of texture rather than giving, I think we're years past the point where you just do a straight glass facade on the outside of a building. Nobody wants that. That's boring. So I
Yeah,
do
that's
kind of like
boring.
this offset grid is kind of cool. Yeah, so there's a couple reference images. We'll just I'm gonna stick those over here on the side so we can look at them if we need to. I might uh yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use one of these as a watermark. I'm just gonna throw a watermark up here on the left. So to put a watermark, and I haven't done this for a while. If I go into my styles and edit this second to last uh, tab right here. Looks a little bit different in Windows, but it's very similar layout. But the second to last tab is watermark. In here, I can hit plus, and then on my desktop, I can grab the image I want to use as a watermark and open it. And that shows up. That's good. We're going to stick it in the background. Where did it go? That was interesting.
I guess we're doing overlay,
Background.
folks.
We're doing overlay. Yeah, of course, I'm doing overlay. I want to be able to see it all the way for sure. I'm going to position it in the upper left corner, and I'm going to make it, not huge, but something I could glance at and go, okay, that looks about right against my model.
Yeah.
So it is an overlay, so it will cover up my model. See, my stuff's going back behind there as I move around. But yeah, if I was
I
really
am
worried about optimizing space, I'd probably go in and chop this down a little bit. I don't need all this extra space, but we're good for what we're doing.
Yeah,
There we
we're
go.
good.
We're
I
good.
am curious though how you're going to approach this because at first when I was looking at the skyscraper, I was thinking, all right, like we have a bunch of floors on top of each other. We can probably just make a couple components here and just stack them. But the thing that's tricky about this though is that you have these shapes that are kind of, concaving upwards and kind of, yeah, it's interesting. So, what are your thoughts?
There is not. I was looking at this, and I don't think there's a single floor that's the same shape
Okay,
because
so
of the
this is going to be a
arcs.
12-hour stream, you're saying?
It goes well. So I think this is a model where level of detail would play a very important part because I see a way that you could do this. I could probably finish a version of this with the proper geometry in about 10 minutes, but it wouldn't be detailed. I mean, that would be like projected textures. We'd cut some corners with that. To get the detail in, we're gonna have to get creative and possibly use an extension or two. So I have some thoughts, but I want to ruin it. You got to stick around for the whole stream to find out.
Yeah. That's
That's
right.
how that's what they tell you to do in YouTube school is promise something amazing at the end. So
Yeah, you won't believe what happens next. Stay tuned to find out.
yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab one more image and pull this in, and this is actually a plan. So we're gonna make this big. We'll make this like all the way big at some point. Um,
Oh yeah, this is the nice little section that you've got here.
wrong one.
I'm a sucker for a good architectural drawing, so
Oh
nice work
yeah.
sourcing this.
um, match some texture size. Okay. Uh, cool. So I don't actually need dimensions off here. What I really want is just these two images. Um, what did you say was the total height of this building?
It is 1,200, or sorry, 1,022 feet.
1,022 feet. So I have what looks like what they're considering the ground plane, I believe, is right here, looks like. So I'm going to draw an edge that goes from here to here. I'm going to take these and put them in a group. Go in that group and measure that edge from here to the other end. 1,022.
Yep,
That's
that's right.
122. That's missing a zero. 122 feet. Enter, resize the group. Yes. So now these images are full size, and I can believe that because look at 6'2" Aaron right here. He does not stand up to that. That seems believable to me. Okay, cool. So I don't actually need that edge. I just wanted something to measure off of. All right, so I'm going to take this. Ooh, I did some stuff to it already. Better come in here. Take
Oh
this
no.
image. We don't actually need it in that second group, so I'm going to explode that. I'm going to turn that back to flat because that's something that would probably end up causing me some kind of pain in the future. Here we on red axis. Okay, they were flat. All right. Now, what I want to do is, so you can see here, if I look here, this is straight. It's got an angle cut right here, but this is straight. This side is straight, and then this straight side has that arc going up, right? It's shallow, but you can see that as it goes up, maybe these two are the same, but mostly every one gets bigger and bigger all the way down.
Yeah. Seems like if you want an apartment in this building, you kind of want to aim towards the lower levels. You're probably getting more space.
More square footage for sure. Um, and let's be honest. I mean, it's Austin's great and all, but it's not like there's a whole lot to see out there. So I don't need to be
Apologies
too
to
high up.
anybody from Texas.
No, I'm kidding. I really like Austin. Actually, I think that's a fun place.
Oh yeah, great food scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good music. Good. It's a good college atmosphere. It's a fun place. All right. So, um, so there's a couple ways I'm thinking I could do this. What I will probably do is use solid tools to create two profiles. We'll create a profile from both sides and then extrude them. Then we'll overlap them and then make one solid from those two outlines. Um, I think that'll be the quickest way to get started with this. Then we'll talk about this grid because I think the easiest thing to do with this grid is going to be to take that grid and model it once and then cut it into the different sides and then use something like joint push pull to then pull the sides out. I think that's going to be the quickest, easiest way to do this. Yeah, I'm going to see how that works. No promises. Actually, yeah, I'm promising that's what I'm going to do, but I don't promise it that it's going to work.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, joint push pull is a good call. I feel like that
That's a good
would
one. I should see if I have that installed. Hold one moment, please. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Let's move. All right. First thing I'm going to do, well, I've already done some first things. This is my next first thing. I'm going to change the color of my edges to something that stands out amongst black and white. So I'm just going to go grab I'll just use this bright red color because I want to come in here and I'm assuming that this image, and it is not a high quality image. You guys already see that these points are going to line up pretty well. Nope.
Ish.
Look at that. Right off the bat, something's not quite lining up. Okay, so it looks like that side is higher. So it may actually, this may actually be how it is, because I might have a section here and a lower part here. So we'll play with that. figure out how that lines up. It'd be a shame if this was straightforward and everything worked. All right, so here we have this
Yeah,
bigger
you're not
chunk.
going to earn your ice cream if it comes together easily.
That's right. What's the deal there? All right. Take this one straight across, see where this hits. Okay, cool. So that's nice. That stuff all lines up. And then down here. Right. And then we're going down to, this is the ground plane. So I'll get this in. This is how far we're going to model down to. And then see, I got a step right here. Fairly big deal. Yeah. Okay. So all those edges, all those locations line up vertically. That's good. That's cool. So right here, I'm gonna start here, pull it straight down. I'm gonna go straight down rather than snap to the end because this end is kind of arbitrary. So if I stay on the blue axis, they'll cross, and I can just get rid of those two pieces. I'll do the same thing here. I'm I'm just gonna follow this profile for right now and see what happens. All right, and then down here, I'm not really sure. So obviously there's steps here, so maybe I'll go do this side too real quick. I'll take this side up from here down to here, from here up to here, and then it goes like this, and then I'm gonna use an arc from there down to there, and then just kind of, it's not a crazy deep arc, but there's a little bit there. Okay, there we go. That was
Nice.
cool. Why didn't this close over here? What's the deal?
We already have the first reminder in the chat, Aaron, to do what your T-shirt says to do.
Oh, so much work. Okay, I'll save. And then this is the waterline, right?
Yes.
Boom. I think Matt came across this. Did he not? Isn't that how we? Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Here's why my thing didn't close. I got a little edge right there. Boop. All right.
Nice.
It's coming together. It's already coming together. Um, yeah, I'm gonna come down here and do the part that makes sense to me, and that's just dropping this straight down. And then another arc going from here up to here. Cool. Um, yeah, so the reason this isn't straightforward to me is I'm kind of wondering if I need to be putting some of these actual levels in. So come into right here, down to here, here up to here, and then taking that line straight on across. So I can see this little step out right here. I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
And then
Um, Speaking of, determining the simplicity or the complexity of the model, we John Ross in the comments is saying, is it truly an arc on the side of the building, or is it that all the individual floors are slightly stepped out? What do you think about that?
I do think that the floors are stepped. Um, so I do actually think that's what's going on here. Um, but I kind of wanted to see what would happen if I continued modeling this way anyways. So yeah, I do think if I was going in here, it does look like they step little teeny bit each time, which I guess we could still do. But that will okay, so to do that, again, this comes down to level of detail. So in our hour and a half model, I'm not going to detail every level differently. I just don't have the time and it would be boring. Um, so what I could do is I could determine the exact height of each of these floors, and then I could make the step on both sides so that when I have these two pieces and I push them over each other, make the solid, those steps align perfectly. Because if they don't align perfectly, then I'm going to have a big problem, which is okay. That wouldn't be too bad. The problem would be uh, Yeah, I guess we go for it.
Well, one thing that you could do is draw like a rectangle essentially for the top floor, and then one from the bottom floor, and then divide it by the amount of floors, I guess, and
Yeah.
that should give you a pretty smooth result.
Yeah, so if I go from here to here and here to here, right? That cuts it. So now I have this edge and this edge are the same. And in that I have oh, I'm gonna lose count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So
Hey, there we go.
it
Nice
does look
round
like
number.
these are not symmetrical. Maybe this is a maintenance building or a less expensive floor. It looks like they're different, but that could be the image too. So, but I'm gonna say there's 30 even floors for this. So I'm gonna divide it. I can slide this around and see what 30 looks like. Easy 20, 30. And that's pretty close to my dots. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with it. All right, so now what I could do is I could take that over to where I want that first one to be. And then I broke the wrong one. I really should have broke this one. So let's just do this. I'll grab that line right there, option copy that to right here. Because this one's the same. So I don't have to break this. But then I can come over here and then each one I can put in like this. Okay, this is a speak amongst yourselves time because
Yeah, while you do this, let me just share some fun facts about this building. So, one thing that's really cool about this building actually is that the structure was designed in Tekla, which is one of the modeling softwares under Trimble's umbrella. Um, and Trimble Connect was used very heavily to collaborate with the model and kind of like identify issues and solve them before development even began. So it's pretty
love it.
cool. Yep.
Love seeing our stuff get used. Well, I guess exactly how it's supposed to be used. That's awesome.
Probably to a degree more accurately than what we're doing right now,
Yeah,
but
I would think so. But you know
I
what?
would hope I would hope so.
I bet they spent more than 90 minutes on it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang my hat on that.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise the residents in the apartment will, start talking to each other and they'll be like, well, my ceiling's like, 10.67 feet tall and oh, yours is 15? Wow. But yeah, so it's the building is supposed to be finished in 2026 in August. And like we said at the start of the stream, it's going to be the tallest building in Austin and the tallest building in Texas. And the tallest building in southeastern United States until the Waldorf Astoria, Miami is complete. So maybe we'll do that one next. I don't know.
There you
We'll
go.
see. Nice.
All
You
right.
made light work of that.
That was not as bad as I was thinking it'd be. Um, all right, and then I'm gonna get rid of these edges right now because I just want that cut. So I could do the same thing over here. Uh, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh, and again, I'm going to make them all even. So I'm just going to grab this edge. I'm going to divide. I like dry. So you can just, when you do divide, you can just type a number in. That is totally works. I like moving my little dots along here because I like to see if they line up with the reference geometry. So you can see they are pretty close at the bottom, but as we come up, we have some different size steps. So I'm gonna double check that. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah. It kind of looks like it's getting increasingly taller each
They are.
step. So
Well, take that, rich people. You don't get your big big floors this time.
Yeah. Hey, but tall ceilings. What are you gonna do?
That's right. Um, cool. Well, hey, while I'm gonna
Let's see.
start at the bottom because it was easier to come up. Oops.
Yeah, there's always a part in every single stream here that we do where, Aaron's doing the grunt work that
Yep.
normally he would have other people do for him, but he's on the spot here, so yeah.
Justin says being the one who would be assigned those particular tasks. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Um, but yeah, let's see if I can dig up anything else about this tower. Well, I guess it's probably more interesting to talk a little bit about like what you're thinking of doing next year. So like I guess once you have all these individual floors built out, then you essentially have the side profile or the elevation of the building.
Right.
And yeah, I'm curious, are you going to push pull everything manually? Are you going to uh kind of like duplicate it on both sides of the building so that it's I guess a hollow building on the inside? Like what are you thinking?
So I'm thinking I'm just gonna get a solid plane here, right? An outline. One, two, three. And then I will one, two, three. And then I'll use solid tools to kind of get the overlap. I can't remember what that's called. Is it the split? Um,
I think so.
I might be consolidating some floors together here, but I want to get the profile from both sides rather than push pulling a bunch of stuff here, like one level at a time. Like I said, that's what I did not want to do. All right, there we go. So something. Whoa, 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 whoa. Actually, undo that because I want to use those same edges as inference or as reference. I'm going to go like this, option copy that right over to here. And then I got to do the same thing, unfortunately. All right, so start at the bottom where it's bigger. But yeah, I was thinking because we've modeled this way before. Usually, it's a little more organic or curvy shapes where we can kind of model like a top view and a front view and a left view, and then we overlap them all and kind of keep the piece in the middle. Something similar to that. I think we've done animals or motorcycles or Vespa, whatever or airplane maybe. We've done with the same process to just kind of get that preliminary massing done rather than trying to, yeah, one piece at a time, figure out how this thing works. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting approach actually. Didn't think about that. So you'd essentially be putting all of the faces together and then drawing like a massive rectangle that like sits in between everything and then using the solid tools to kind of like cut the remaining piece.
yeah,
Smart. That's pretty cool.
well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We will
At
see,
this
folks.
at this point, we're more like interesting. Like, hmm, that's an interesting take. Let's see how that works. That's kind of where we're at, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm consolidating some of these. Some of these are real close together in size, and again, because we're doing equal size steps, they're not all lining up perfectly. But I think we'll still have something that will be undeniably the profile of the waterline. So
Yeah, undeniably. I mean,
undeniably,
it's looking pretty good already. We had a comment in the chat asking if we have a plan view, and I just briefly looked online and I could not find one. So
yeah,
sorry, Aaron.
that's okay. I was actually because I was wondering that because of that lower level, the like I said, what I'm assuming is like the commercial section. down here, it's weird because it goes a totally different direction, like turned like 30 degrees from the main section. I'm really not sure how to do that. So we're gonna really focus hard on this piece and then see how much time we got left.
Yeah, we're gonna let the timer run out on this
That's
one
right.
probably.
All right, so I'm gonna bring this in like that. Hmm.
Yeah, it does
Don't
look like
want to.
a fairly tricky building though. I mean, it is fitting that our colleague Matt suggested doing this building and then left on paternity leave
Yeah,
conveniently.
yeah. That's one way to do it.
Thanks, Matt. We miss you, Matt.
Yeah. Congratulations. Well, it's not. I guess it hasn't officially happened, but he's on baby watch right now, so it could happen anytime, folks. Matt could be babying it up as we speak. We don't know.
Stay tuned.
That's right. All right. So that looks cool. Over here we got straight.
Could you imagine the amount of like actual plan documents and whatnot that go
Yeah.
into this building specifically, and the amount of like engineers that had to look at the structural design to sign off on it? I mean, think about like what it takes to build 1,000 foot tall building.
I mean, I think about like the amount of plans that go into like a decent size mountain home around here, because I when I was doing like design work, it was primarily for, custom homes in the Rocky Mountains. And we would have plan sets that were like, rolls like this big. And it was a single family home. And I just look at stuff like this and like,
Yeah, you need a
too
forklift
much.
to move those plans around.
All right.
Um,
So I'm gonna take this down to the ground where what I marked down is the ground plane. Uh, yeah, like that for now. All right, and I'm just gonna clean all the edges out so I get one profile. Beauty.
nice,
Over here, same thing. I'm gonna take this down. Make sure I'm going to inferencing down to the same spot. Take that over. I can't tell what's going on here.
yeah. Hey, we're 30 minutes into the stream so far. This profile is looking sweet.
Yeah, if I can pop this out in the first half hour, I think we'll be good. All right.
Yeah,
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab both of these and make copies over
and
here.
of course, don't forget to save.
Of
Maybe.
course. Look, already done.
Nice.
Good call, everybody. Thank you very much. I can't see my shirt, so you guys got to read it to me. All right, so I'm gonna take that one. Actually, well, I ended up with a bunch of edges here, so I might do this. I might grab this and weld it real quick, but I don't know, is that gonna mess with? No, I don't want to do that. Unweld, bring it out, and then I turned X-ray on at one point because I was tracing off of the that face there. All right, that's good. That'll work. I like that. And I'll take this one, same thing, just pull this out. And then these are actual steps. These aren't. All right, and I think that's everything. All right, so I'm gonna grab each of these, triple click, make a group. Triple click, make a group. All right, and I'll take that group, spin it 90 degrees. And this again, it's all at the same height. It lined up horizontally. So all I should have to do is slide this like this. All those floors should connect right together. So right here, that lines up. Here lines up. This deck lines up. Down here, that's the same height. That's the same height. This little step right here. Let's scoot it back just a little bit so we get a better overlap. This little thing right here lines up. Perfect. So as far as I can tell, that's good. I'm going to take these two and option scoot them over. I learned from Tyson on this one.
It's good to have a backup.
About to do something stupid, make sure you make a copy and save. Okay.
That being said, let's do something stupid.
Let's do something stupid. All right, I think it's intersect. I think what intersect will do is give me just the geometry where the two solids overlap. So I'm just going to hit it. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
All right, so let's look at what that did. It did that. That's pretty
That
cool.
looks good. And you can see that the roof does slant, which
Yeah, it does.
I think it does
So
in real life too. So nice job.
I'm guessing because we only had two sides, we could only see two of the sides. I'm guessing something more like, if I come in here, I'm thinking it's probably more like this, you know, and then probably
Yeah,
something like that where it comes down in two angles, something. Yeah. But that's a pretty
nice.
cool looking building.
Agreed. Yeah. We will ignore the fact that the bottom of the building jets out at a completely different angle, but you know.
I'm I'm working on that with my brain, like reconcile this. What? I don't even know how that happened. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, where did my
Consider it a
oh
design flaw.
I'm looking for my reference images. They are here. All right. Let's scale these up so I can at least kind of look over at them. All right. So I'm going to grab that where that's a new solid group. So if we look at this thing, so it looks like that's the angle we're looking at it from. Yeah, this is where so this cut down here is an orthogonal cut against a non-orthogonal building. So that was kind of chopping through like here and then here. So that's where we got that weird chunk on the bottom. Um, I'm kind of tempted to say, let's just knock this chunk off
Yeah.
and yeah, let's model this. Let's model this piece from here on up. If we have time, I might go searching and see if I can find some better images of what's going on down here. I think it's a cool section, but like I said, everything I found was about the tower and not so much this lower level. So, which I think is okay because I think we got plenty to do here. All right, let's detail this thing. Trying to think if I really
Aaron, I did find an interesting, I guess, like isometric perspective of the building design that's all black and white. Do you want me to shoot that to you? It might be pretty helpful.
Yeah, do you want to put it in the forum?
Um, yeah. Let me
Forums.sketchup.com, official plug.
just briefly create a forum account real quick.
Oh
I know.
boy.
I know.
Hey, whatever gets it done, man. That's cool. That'll work. All right. Let's look at a couple of things. So top down, it does look like so we have this inset here. That looks right. And then we got this cool like uh non-symmetric post work going across here, holding up this middle mezzanine section. That's awesome. We got the same thing going on up top, but I did not model that. So I'm kind of thinking what we'll probably do is I'll come in here. I think at this point I got to get rid of these red lines too because they're making me feel like I did something wrong. I feel like I'm being shamed by the color of these lines. So I'm going to come in here to my styles and just set them all back to black or licorice, if you will. All right, so that looks cool. And then I think kind of wondering something I'm wondering about this right here. So these are not in plane. You can see if you look down here, these 2 points end up lower than if you connected these 2 points. So these two would have to vertically move up vertically in order to force this all in to line. Now I actually have a tool that will figure out that how do I make that all one plane. And again, I admit right now, I'm not working off of a set of structurals or architecturals or anything else. I'm straight up trying to make this look good as far as I could think how it should be. I don't see a reason to really have a break right there. It's already sloping. So I want to try to get this as a flat plane. So a tool that I use every once in a while, it's part of the extension Vertex tools, which I wonder if I have it installed. I'm pretty sure I installed, yeah, Vertex tools. And there is a tool in here called Make Planer. And what Make Planer does is it takes 4 or more vertices or ends of edges and puts them all so they're in a plane. Not necessarily flat to like the blue-green plane or the red-green plane or anything like that, but all in plane with each other. So you can see how this is, like I said, this is up high. I can see that poking up past. If I hit Make Planer, it's going to shift them. There you go. So that they are all in plane now, and I have one flat surface there. If I look at it, there it is, perfectly flat. The reason I want to make sure I do that is because I'm going to want to take these edges and kind of push them in to make this recess where I can put my posts around. That's going to be a lot easier to work off of a flat plane rather than what that thing was that we had before. So I think I'm going to grab this, and we talked about it. I'll go ahead and use it. I'm going to come in here to Tools, Fredo Collection, Joint Push Pull, and I'm going to do a vector push pull because I want to pull this straight up. So normally a push pull is always 90 degrees to the surface. It's normal to the surface. So whatever angle a surface is at, pushing something off normal is how push pull works. But with this, I can actually grab a surface and I can pull it and I can tell it where to go. I'm going to go straight vertical. So that's going to go straight up instead of normal to the surface. You see how that works? So I'm like pushing at an angle to the surface. But that'll get me that piece. See it there on the edge? See how this goes vertical? And then let me bring these other pieces in slightly. So might as well just bring that toolbar up. Let's go to Tool Palettes and find Joint Push Pull. All right, and I'm going to just joint push pull a couple of these pieces in. Oops.
Yeah, I do love joint push pull. It's super helpful. Kegi in the forum posted the same photo that I am waiting for approval to post, so he beat me to it. But yeah, it's a fantastic image that really shows, I think, the design from a nice isometric viewpoint.
Pull this in. Yeah, we'll say like 6 feet. 6 feet. And I'm making a little bit of an overlapped mess here because I'm pushing in geometry that was never meant to. Should probably do that one. Vector also. There we go. 6 foot. All right. So
Hey,
I made a mess.
Columns. I
made corner columns. I made a mess right there. But I'm okay with that because I think cleanup's going to be pretty easy because I think what I can do is just grab all of this, right click, intersect face with selection. Any place that any of those two overlap, they're going to get a face now. And I think I can just come in and just chop off whatever's on the corner like this. And we'll be back. Whoops, too much. I deleted too much. There we go. And then I think I can, I might have to do some cleanup at the top. I may have just actually made a terrible mistake. That is always possible as well.
Oh, that's how you learn.
That's right. You'd think. This is not the first time I've done this, so
oh man, it just keeps getting worse.
I'm gonna back up. Ripcord. Okay, let's try that again. So the issue is I can't. So the reason I'm having an issue, I'm having a moment here, is because basically nothing's in plane. It's all out of plane. It's not a bad thing. It is what it is. Unfortunately. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to come this way 6 foot, and I'm going to draw an edge right here to here, 6 foot. I should have, there we go. So there we go. And then I'm going to come over here, do the same thing. Come this way 6 foot. Come this way from here to here, 6 foot. I don't know. I'm experimenting at this point. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I'm going to get rid of those faces, and I'm going to tie these two together. And I'm going to flip this way and tie this together.
Oh,
That. And it didn't close because of that angle. I'm actually creating I'd have to create a face like that. But before I do that, I'm going to step back in here also. I'm going to come this way 6 foot. So every once in a while, also read constantly, I realize that some planning ahead might not hurt a lot. There are
well, I feel
situations.
like that goes against your whole ethos, you know?
Well,
Like
that's the problem. I gotta figure out if I want to stay on brand or I want things to be easier on myself. And you know,
we're
that's what I
live
gotta
here, you know?
gotta
This is the
play
whole
with.
thing.
That's right. This is one of those spots where, yeah, well, like I said, if I was actually designing or doing any kind of design work with this thing, I would hope I'd be working off some more information than a isometric render that but it's cool. It's cool. This is not, I mean, it's not like painful. This didn't hurt to do these extra couple steps, but yeah, make it up as you go.
Yeah. It's just gonna make the ice cream taste better later.
Oh, yeah. Should probably send some texts to my family about our plans that they don't know about.
Yeah. Whatever you had planned for tonight, we're changing it.
Ice cream time. All right. So there we go. That looks pretty good. And then again, on the pieces that didn't line up perfectly, these weren't perfectly straight or something like that. That's okay. Because like I said, I'd probably just come in here. We'll just connect these back up like this. And then we'll just smooth those back over. And I got my recessed area there. Now, there we go. I'm struggling a little bit. I don't know if you've hit this yet, Justin, but depending on the environment that I have set up, the sun hitting the white face
Mm,
versus it being ambiently lit through the color of the sun looks pretty close to the backside.
yeah. It looks like the
So
faces have been reversed. Yeah.
right,
Well,
so some
surprised that in an instance like this, you're not turning off the environments, but I guess you just love that cloudy sky,
I
you know?
just like it. I just like the colors that come in. I know I'm working on white right now, but I like the way it looks. It's just what it is. That's just how I go. This
Yeah.
is me now. This is just what I do. Um, that looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna do a couple other things here. It does look like, well, maybe let's work on this web. I'm gonna save this. This is closed in. So we have this webbing shape. I'm calling it webbing. It's not actually webbing, but it's this lattice work. I don't know what you want to call it. This thing, this stuff. I want to get that
Yeah.
on the side of the building. So I'm going to make a single component to start with. And that component's going to go, I'm going to come here and what's our floor? 11. So I'm going to come down 12. Let's see. Yep. I'm going to come down 12 inches. I'm going to take this back this way green. I'm going to go long both directions. All right. Come up 12. Down here. All right. There you go. Grab that. Make it a group temporarily.
Temporarily.
And I'm going to option copy that down below. All right, so that should fit. This is the biggest side of the building, so that should fit everywhere as I need it. All right, then I'm going to look in here and see, okay, how many, which side is this? That's this side, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? The smaller side has less? That doesn't seem right. That's probably just a rendering thing. I'm going to do as many as I darn well please. How about that? About 4. Okay,
Yeah,
Four-ish.
this is an interpretation.
I don't know what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna come here, come this way 12, come up here. Basically, so I just want to get that piece of geometry. All right, so now I got that, make that a separate group. And then I'm gonna take that from here to about the same distance away from the end over here and say copy that by 3. Nope, divide that by 4.
There you go.
All right, that looks okay. Cool. Now, I'm gonna, nope, not yet. I'm gonna grab this, this, this of this, this and this, and I'm going to option copy it straight down. And I'm gonna come to the middle right here. I'm gonna slide it over. I actually have a middle point here, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make temporary geometry just to inference. That way I can grab the middle of this point. I can drag it this way to the middle of that. Get rid of that. All right, there we go. That's gonna fit. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna grab all of these pieces. I'm gonna make them into a new group. Go into that group, grab all this. Let's get rid of everything else. I don't need to see all this. I just need this. This is all I need. All right, I'm going to right click and explode it all. And then this is a pretty simple piece of geometry. So I'm just gonna manually erase some stuff like this.
How would you do it if it wasn't a simple piece?
So there are some, I could probably use cleanup. Cleanup, yeah, I would probably use cleanup. Cleanup will go
Okay.
through and merge all these into one piece. The issue that I run into with cleanup, let me see if I can create my issue. All right, there we go. So see how I left a couple of edges along here? It's still all one piece. So cleanup doesn't go through and make sure any redundant edges are gone. It just erases enough edges so that this all becomes one piece. So I find with cleanup, it works great. It's a great start, but then sometimes I still got to come in and get rid of these extra little edges if I don't want them. Or the other thing I could do is I could grab just this face, Command C to copy it, then delete everything, and then
Paste in
edit,
place.
paste in place, and that'll bring just the surface back without the extra edges. I lied. That just came back. Yeah, so I'll just delete them.
Okay.
I thought I had something cool there. That was interesting. I did not know that would happen. All right. So this is going to work for the flat sides. These sides over here, I'll have to do a little bit more work, but for right now, I am making things up. So I'm going to grab this one, option, bring it straight over here to this side. Come in here. What I'm trying to think now is, do I want to push pull it now, or do I want to copy it, group those flat pieces together, and then push pull them? If I push pull them now, they'll be solids, so it'll be easier to group them back together. I think I might do
There's
that.
no world where you would want to turn this element that you've created into a component.
Well, the first, so I mean, yeah, we talk all the time. Components are super important and why you should use them. But let me show you why I'm not bothering. I'm going to pull this out 6 inches. So we get a 3D piece. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to grab it. I'm going to option shift or vertical copy down to here. I'm going to say do that 15x. That's close. And now I have them. And so the first thing I'm going to do now is take these and outer shell them. So I have one solid. Oh, son of a gun. Yeah, if I had done that in components, it would have been way easier to fix. All right, I'm going to undo a couple times. I'm going to come into this, take a look at what the problem is. Looks pretty good. So let's ask Solid Inspector to take a peek. Solid Inspector. I have a internal face. So we'll fix that. All right, let's try that again. So as I was saying, yeah, it would be ridiculous to make a component 14x. There we go. Because the first thing I'm going to do when I copy these perfectly created solid groups over here
Join them
is,
together.
that's right. So we're going to go in here. We're going to say, where's it going? Tools, outer shell. Now I have one solid piece there. I could take that solid piece and actually, let's get it all the way cleaned up first. I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to slide it in like that. This is still a solid tool. No, it's not. What did I do? Oh, there we go. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to give this a little bit of a podium to stand on like that. Oopsies.
And then you're going to use solid tools again to basically cut that piece.
Exactly. So I'm going to, all right, figure out what's going on. I got some loose geometry inside probably. Yes, not one, but two internal faces, twice as many. Okay. And then I'm going to say, how do I do this backwards? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Make a copy of this, slide it over here, and then take these two and use solid tools intersect again to get me just that cut off piece, which I should now be able to grab. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, Zoomy. All right. And then we'll take that, drag that straight across till it hits the face. And there we go. That should fit perfectly. And now we can also do is we can take that straight across to here. And we're halfway done with the top tower.
Save.
Okay. I mean, good thinking.
And so how are you going to put that lattice on the curved side of the building? Are you gonna kind of like push pull it so it has more depth and then like intersect it essentially, or?
Well, I'm glad you asked. A more important question is why didn't I copy that original lattice piece so I could use it again? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to Command X to cut it, and I'm going to undo a whole bunch of times. If it seems like I've done this before, all right,
Yeah,
let me
and then
get rid of
just
this. Edit,
paste in place.
paste in place. It's all
There you
back,
go.
and I have this. I'm going to save. There we go. All right, now I don't want to ruin it. Let's start with the back. I'm going to take this. I'm going to make you wait for the answer to that question. It's not because I haven't thought of it. That seems like a valid reason, but
You're like an
yeah.
expert chess player. You're modeling 15 moves ahead at any given moment.
I'm glad you think that. All right, so I'm going to line this up hereabouts. And then, ooh, that was pretty close to perfect. Look at that. About the same. I'm going to slide it over just a tish. There we go. And then same thing here. Oh, not same thing, because first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to option copy that. Wow, what is, oh, I'm grabbing. So if you ever have this happen, right? So all I want to do is grab this and I want to slide a copy over. But when I went to move it, I got like some weird spot. I picked a spot off in the background. So as I move my mouse relative to where my point was that I picked, a little move meant a lot up close. So if you hit that a lot, which I do, just try to pick something in the foreground. So see how I'm inferencing this foreground? Now I know that I'm just moving it straight across. So if that ever happens to you, that's what's going on. I'm going to grab this, option copy vertically to there, 14x. That goes all the way down. Same thing I did before. Grab all of these. Tools, outer shell, one solid. All right, now this is going to be interesting because if I take this piece and I push it back in here and I cut it the same way I did before, it's going to cut it back to here. So when I move it out, I'm going to have this little blank corner, this blank square right here. To fix that, I could go into this group and push pull each edge, all 30 ends out one at a time, or grab a group and pull them out or something like that. But I'm gonna go a little bit further. There's really no reason at this point to keep this, and this separate. I mean, oh well, actually, there's a very good reason, and that is materials. Um, because I'll either have to color all of these pieces white. All right, I'm gonna roll. I'm just gonna do stuff. Less talky, more clicky. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this in. I'm gonna do exactly what I just said I didn't want to do. I am going to grab all of that. Option copy that over. Um, it's funny, I got this main structure of my building, and I'm basically just using it as a cutter now. I'm going to take that. I'm going to go to Tools, Solid Tools, same thing, intersect, just to trim off this bit. And then I will take it, and I will slide it. Come on, green axis. There we go. All right, so here's what I got, right? Oh, no, that looks terrible. That's ugly. Oh, yeah? Well, watch this. I'll show you ugly. No, wait, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to grab all these ends right there. So just do a group select of everything, and then I just move them out 6 inches. And I'm going to grab the same thing over here.
See, there you go. The power of the select tool and the move tool.
Yep. Sometimes simple is best. People expect that from me, or never let down. Simple's good. All right. Very cool. And again, by keeping it that way, I'm going to be able to come in here and color all of this with like a glass or reflective color. And I can keep these pieces on the outside white like they're supposed to be. It's just going to make it easier to add materials later on. Now that we got that far, let's talk about what's happening here. So we have this piece. Let's go ahead and pull that straight back till it hits the face. We have a bunch of steps. And that's okay. That is okay. We can make that work. Because we didn't do an arc, we don't have to worry about cutting it in and joint push pulling it out. What we do have to do now is figure out how to take a bunch of these and push them up against the face and then keep them connected so we still have a solid. So here's what I'm thinking. What am I thinking? All right. So I'm going to take this one and we're going to go from here, make a copy straight down to here. And that one we'll just push right back. We're going to have to do a little piecemeal design on this one. It's not going to be quite as simple as just get it done, you know. So
yeah, no, this is where things get advanced.
That's right.
Yeah.
Advanced dish.
Ish.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this line all the way across like that. I actually need these. I do, however, whoops, look at that. I didn't clean that up. I'm going to take just this section and copy it. Then I'm going to grab all this and delete it. And I'll go ahead and throw an edge along here to close that up. I'm making extra faces here. But this is good. I'll do this once so I have this single
dare I say component?
Probably would make a lot of sense. That's probably exactly what I should be doing, yes. But for some reason, I fight against it. Here's what I was talking about before is so I have all these pieces here. This is one piece, but it's all that stuff. If I use the extension cleanup, there's a thing in here that says merge faces. So you watch these extra edges right here and I hit merge face. See, they all go away and I have one face there. That's what I was saying. That might be a quicker way to clean up. Obviously it was. That was much quicker. All right, so now out in my own context, I'm going to say edit, paste in place. It's going to bring that single face back. And then I'm going to take that face, slide it back against this face, and then pull it out 6 inches. And then probably should make that into a group. All right, so now you see this is what I'm going to have to do basically as I come down here is each of these will get some sort of pieces on here coming back one at a time. Something I can do to save myself work later on is this building is the same width all the way across right here. It doesn't turn this way. Or maybe it's supposed to. I didn't model it that way. Again, working off of limited profiles. But one of the things I could do now to make this simpler is I could just come into this one and let's unhide the rest of the building. I could just cut these now rather than doing an intersect with a big piece later. Like that.
What's the advantage to cutting it now?
Uh when
Looks clean.
well, because to get oh man, I got inside faces again. Um because I'm going to copy these same two components, right? So I have kind of a course A, course B like bricks. I'm just going to copy those and kind of move them down. They're all going to be the same length in the end anyhow. So I might as well just cut the first ones and not
Hmm.
have to do it a bunch of times later. So this is out far because of that. That's okay. I have an idea of how I'm going to deal with that. Come into this one. Um, this drives me crazy. Sometimes, how sometimes you got this easy push pull back to zero, and then sometimes it's like, nah, probably some bad modeling on someone's part.
The mouse work.
Yeah. All right, and let's see what's going on with these back faces. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Throwing things away left and right. Beautiful. Uh, this thing right here. Okay, so we need to do a little cleanup here too. I'm gonna come in here, get my stuff back. Speaking of 3D Summit, which we were quite a while ago, but we were, um, one, it was really cool because we had a bunch of industry experts, heavyweight type guys. Uh, but some of the things we were talking about was like Justin Geis, you guys know Justin, talked a little bit about, gave some tips on how to, get good at SketchUp and things that he did to get good. And one of the things that he did talk about was certain shortcuts to certain commands, and one of them was hide rest of model. And I think that is absolutely one of those that because we talk a lot about excuse me, we talk a lot about things. Why didn't that cut through? Sorry, apparently I can't talk and not talk at the same time. That's not what I'm trying to say.
We talk a
Um,
lot.
uh, he was talking about, we talk about using groups. Like we harp on group usage, but we don't always talk about, what to do when there's all this stuff floating around on my screen because everything's in all these groups and when I want to go edit stuff. And I think that's where hide rest of model is super important. Do you toggle stuff on and off all the time, Justin?
Uh, Honestly, I should. I mean, I think in instances like this where you're like kind of working on something that has like a complex element in the background,
Hmm.
it's really helpful. But I don't know. I think it's one of those things. We all have like these modeling habits ingrained in us, and
Yeah.
that is certainly something that I need to break. But I'm a huge proponent though for creating your own shortcuts too, if that helps. I think one of my favorite ones, and I see you doing it all the time, is just paste in place.
Oh
And
yeah.
I have the same paste in place that is used in Adobe, which is just F, which I just set up, custom. But super quick to be able to just quickly copy and paste things and clean up the model that way. But I'll definitely have to, start hiding things more. It's a good
Yeah.
call.
I guess it's a great command and it definitely speeds things up. Uh, makes your model easier to work in. I know I'm sure other people do this too, but there'll be times where I'm just like, I just tough it out, just get through it, and that's probably dumb to just you know work through pain. Uh, probably not the smartest way to do it. All right, so that's pretty close to there. Um, what I might do again, depending on how much cleanup I want to do, because there's definitely an argument to be made for what am I making this for? Level of I was just talking about level of detail, how much detail I want to put on here. That looks pretty cool the way it is. If I did want to get these as a solid piece, I could do a little bit more work, which would be some things like coming in here, pulling these higher. Why does that not come out? That should come out to here.
Yeah, but that's tedious. I think it's important to
Right.
remember that this is a 2-hour stream, not a
Right.
14-hour streaming marathon.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. So there's a little bit of cleanup that could be done there. That's only a couple actually, so maybe it's not too bad to just why does that not come out either? Oh, I did these top ones I didn't do right. This is gonna bug me. Every once in a while, I'll get done with a model, be like, whew, good job, got through that thing. And then uh I'll have to go back and like make some changes because something I did didn't sit right with me. So
You're
some
up late at night just,
so
brooding over it.
or sometimes Monday morning because my routine's kind of like I come in, in the morning I come into my sit down on my computer in my office, have my coffee, look for things like just look at emails or whatever came in, and sometimes I'll still have my model from Friday on the screen, and I'll be like, ooh, drink a little coffee, clean a little model. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But no, it looks pretty cool. I like that. I think that looks good. One thing, this right here, I might have to come do something about. So this one ended up hanging down, which makes sense. And then this one, these ones didn't. So I might come down here, grab this option, bring that down, and then bring each of these edges out just to match that look and
Yeah,
feel.
it kind of looks like in the watermark that you have there to the left, at the bottom of that section of the tower kind of has like a
It's
bigger
even
piece that
bigger.
jets out.
Yeah.
So maybe you could offset that bottom plane and really push it out.
Yeah, maybe we just even just pull this down like
Yeah, there you go.
again, they wouldn't give me architectural, so it's on them if they don't like it. Like somebody somewhere is expecting something out of this. Whoops. All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah,
That
but
looks
that's looking pretty sweet. Hour and 15 minutes into it, and I
you got
think I think
something.
the bones are there. It's looking good.
It's not nothing. All right. All right, here's what I think I'm going to do. Here's the thing I'm going to do. I want to start making the out. So here's the thing that I want to do more of in 25, and that is model with good looking textures. You guys know if you've been watching for any amount of time, I'm a big fan of just like I do like that white clay model. I think that's why I liked ambient occlusion so much, which we're working on such a big building that ambient occlusion is not going to have much of an impact on it because we're modeling true to life, and an ambient shadow on something that's 1,000 feet tall is going to be almost imperceptible from this far out. But I did like doing models in just white, just letting the geometry do its thing. But man, after doing a couple of modeling sessions with good looking materials and lighting and everything, I'm like, I got to just do this. I got to do this a lot more. So I'm going to do that right
Yeah.
now. I'm going to get a shiny blue glassy material. I'm not really worried. I don't want to mess with transparency. I don't need to see inside the building. I know there's nothing inside there, but I do want to get something that's like this reflective, bounce this blue light off of it, kind of thing going on. So I'm going to come in right now before I go any further. We're going to come in here to look at, maybe we can try a metal. Let's start with the metal. Um,
Yeah, I feel like sometimes too, like if you're always modeling with just like a purely white model, it can somewhat be like discouraging to keep pushing, but then as soon as you get some nice textures on there, you're like, "Ah, I see how this is starting to come together." Like
Yeah.
look at how reflective that is. I mean, it's just inspiring by itself, you know?
Yeah. So that looks pretty cool. Like that already, it's already coming together just that much. And I think
Oh
if
yeah.
I was to go a little bit further and kind of like get rid of my edges, so see that what? Yeah, there we go. That looks better. I like that. I like that. I got to do a little bit of work because I modeled. I just turned the whole thing. Come in here, grab that section all the way around. Put the default material back on that. Oh, it already has that. Okay, this is a thing I did which you're not supposed to ever do. And I colored the outside. So let's try that again. Oops, I undid that. All right. All right, what did I do now? I colored on the outside again. All right, let's try this. Turn it back to white. Come into context. Command A. Put my silver on here. Now I want this to be white. And I want this to be white. There we go. All right, that's getting us closer to what I want.
Yeah.
Cool, 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 cool. Let's save because I'm really good at that now too. In case you guys didn't know. Um, um, let's do this. Let's do these things.
Yeah, that seems fun. We need
Yeah,
to deviate slightly here. We can
yeah.
always go back to creating
I don't
the
want to do more webs mesh stuff right now.
yeah.
It's a break. All right. So according to this, I, that's IV.
Let's see what that is.
I don't think that's a real number because yeah, that doesn't work in Roman numerals.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
IV.
I think it's purely structural in
I think
this.
so.
There's no hidden meanings
There's no
in this.
yeah, I thought maybe we had a cool Easter egg there, but nope. All
Nope.
right, so here's what we're gonna here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna come up here. I'm gonna start with I'm just gonna use rectangles. I'm gonna keep this simple. Uh, one here, and then the last one is right down here. The bases look like they're fairly evenly distributed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one, push it up. I'm just gonna go straight up for right now, and then I'll grab it, and it looks like it kind of tilts back this way a little bit, and it also looks. Actually, let me undo that. I'm gonna grab this, make it a group. It does look like it gets smaller, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna scale, make it smaller on the top, and then maybe slide it back a little bit. Yeah, see, then we
Oh
got
yeah.
that kind of leaning thing. This one looks like it just goes straight up. Next one is a V. So I'm going to make that group. All right. So this one, I'm going to bring up like that. Oops. Get in there. There we go. All right. I'm going to make that a group. Edit that. Same thing. Whoops.
Oh.
Make it a group. All right. And then same thing. I'm going to grab this and slide it back. And I'm going to grab it and slide it over like that. And then I'm going to grab this and see if this works. See how simple I can keep this. I'm going to option copy that to about the middle. Not too bad. All right, so I'm going to grab both of those, and I'm going to tools, outer
Outer
shell, which has
shell.
become my favorite. I use that so much more now than I ever have before.
Yeah, it's nice. Looks like you got a little bit poking out the roof there, but
Oh yeah, there we go. Easy fix. I can just grab
easy
that,
fix.
lower it just a skosh. That's a design term,
Just a
Skosh.
skosh.
Do you remember? Was skosh used a lot in schooling for you?
No, no, we used much more vulgar terms as we were sitting there frustrated in architecture studio for the sixth hour in a row.
What year did you graduate from architecture school, Justin?
2014.
And in 2014, how much of your work was hand drawing versus computer drafting?
Uh, I mean, we did some hand drafting, just for the maybe the nostalgic element, but I'd say that most of it was all on the computer. Spent a lot of time in SketchUp actually, and a lot of time in Photoshop. Um, and if only I knew about layout at that time.
Fair, fair. Uh yeah, it was funny. That was actually a sentiment which I think we get this a lot, but we had when I talked to people in Denver this week, a lot of people don't use that much layout, and as soon as you go in there and start seeing other people using it, you start to get your eyes open and go, "Wait a minute, I could
Yeah,
be doing all this."
100%. I've been working on a couple projects this week, and have been spending a lot of time in layout, and I gotta say, it's sometimes it's a joy, just to work in that capacity and to see things and kind of 2D. Kind of reminds me a lot of like putting together like IKEA manuals or something like that, and I love that aesthetic. So, um,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's a great tool to use, and I wish I had it in architecture school.
I think one of the things that I find so gratifying about it is it's great to get in here in SketchUp and take something in my imagination and make it real, or make it, look like a thing. But there's something else to taking it and going, okay, now it's out of SketchUp and now look at it as a thing. I think that is super satisfying to get to like take it to that next level.
Yeah, and also, like, I mean, if you're drawing things by hand and you decide that, or the client decides that you want a change to the design somehow, you're not spending hours and hours redrawing that elevation. You can just make the model change and then update the model inference, and bada bing, bada boom, it's done.
I like that. Like it a lot. What you're saying makes sense. But yeah, I definitely sync with that IKEA thing because I'm a big fan of trying to make things simple and understandable as possible. I like to think I'm pretty good at it, and taking that across to making some kind of assembly or shop drawings for something. I like that challenge, and I like you know when I can deliver on that. I think that feels pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Speaking of making things look easy, I feel like you've made light work of these columns.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm kind of
Just rushing towards the finish here.
taking the easy way out a little bit. I think because I don't know that these are very super accurate, but I think they're getting the point across. They'll get the point across. Um, so for this, one thing I'm going to have to do. Whoops, that's not right. There we go. I want to get these ones leaning out, so we'll kind of take them like that, and then we'll scale them one at a time. There we go. Get them up, and all I want to do is just get that top end buried in there. I'm curious. I was not sure if I have to make the top a little bit taller to either have
to
to.
hide to hide those
Yeah, exactly.
discrepancies.
But I think I can even use these same sets of columns down on the first floor. So we'll grab that. So I used joint push pull the first time because, like I said, it was angled like this, but I wanted to push pull it up this way. Now that this is its own face, I can just grab move and move it vertically. I don't have to use push pull again. I can just do it that way, and that looks solid. I like that.
Yeah. Don't
All right,
forget to save.
all right. No, I'm kidding. That's a great idea. That was good thinking. All right. So it looks like down here we have vertical, vertical. We got a V, a vertical, and a V. So vertical, vertical, V, vertical. I'll grab those. And then we're just going to go from this face, options straight down, plunk them right there. And now we'll move them around. They're different sizes, but I think that's going to be okay too. Let's drag them back this way. I'll start at the corner. And this one looks like it's maybe like here-ish based on that grid. My grid's a little different. I'll go like that, and then we'll grab this and go like this. And then we got another V down here on the end. Oh, come on, there we go. All right. And these are all the same size. So this will make it a little bit easier to put them around the edges because I can grab this one, stretch it up into here. Actually, not even up to into here. I don't have to bury it in the plane. I can actually just snap the top. Oh, no, I can't. I got to go up higher than that. Because I got a uneven situation right here. There we go.
Got an architectural situation here.
That's right. We got a design situation happening. All right, cool. Hey, I got a question for everyone who's joining us from wherever they're joining us. I like to ask this in the world of entertainment. Anybody got any good movies they've seen recently? I just went this week earlier and saw Ballerina. This is the new John Wick movie, and it was pretty fun.
Nice.
It was not deep. There was not a whole lot going on. It was John Wick movie. It was violence and
Yeah,
loud explosions and things, but
just
it was fun.
simplicity and violence. There's just something so pure.
Yeah, here's what you need. Don't worry about it. Go get it. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So, but yeah, no, it was definitely a fun movie to sit and watch if you like that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of decent movies coming out recently. The summer's going to be good. I'm excited for some stuff coming out.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to?
Well, as a fan of superhero movies, I got a Marvel movie coming out in the Fantastic Four, which I think is going to be a fun one.
Nice.
And then new Superman, new Man of Steel, new director, writer, everything. So that's going to be interesting as well. So it should be fun though. I like those movies where I don't gotta where I get to suspend belief. You know,
Yeah.
I'm told to do that.
And when you go to those movies where you're suspending belief, are you getting popcorn or like are you sneaking in
Ooh.
snacks? Like what's your go-to
Well, so I had a bit of a moral issue here. I had a thing I had to deal with. So my daughter worked at the movie theater we go to, the movie theater that's in town for us, and she told me that they make like the franchise makes all the money off of the box office, right? So the money that they get when you pay for a ticket, that goes actually to the franchise, not or the you know whatever the brand is, Regal or AMC or whatever, and the local, like the staff and everything that gets paid off of merchandise and food. So
oh,
I got to this point where I'm like, I can't sneak in. I can't sneak in my junior mints anymore. I got to buy them there because I
junior
felt
mint.
bad.
Yeah,
I felt like I was cheating. So yeah, I've since she told me that, since she worked there last year, I have, yeah, I'll either
yeah,
not get anything or I will buy something there.
yeah. Fork
So,
over the $10 for popcorn. You gotta do it.
well, I get 10% off because I'm a member, so that's it offsets something.
Yeah, $9. That's great. Yeah, so far in the chat, we've got 2 additional votes for, John Wick. So if you're into action movies, that seems to be the one to watch.
It was definitely fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen the latest one, but, I saw the first, like, 2, maybe 3?
There's a
And
couple.
yeah, what can't you say about Keanu Reeves? I mean, what a guy.
Oh man. And I always hear too, just like what a nice guy he actually is. And
I
that
know.
that goes a long way for me. Like, I don't want to say that there's some actors out there who I've enjoyed less after learning that they're just kind of turds, but it's not totally untrue. So yeah, it is cool to hear that he is a very, very nice human. I like
Just
that.
a genuinely nice guy, which is good, it's at odds with, the fact that he is a killing machine in
That
these
is
movies.
true. There's definitely something to be said about his character and the total lack of empathy for, yeah, that he has when he does
Yeah.
what he does.
Plus, like, I was raised by parents that, thought it was a good idea to, show me, like, very, like, crazy movies early on in my life, and Matrix was one of the first movies that I ever saw, and so I have a soft spot for Keanu
All
Reeves just in
right.
general.
I could see that. I could very much see that. That's
They're like, "Hey, I know you're only 8 years old, but you should question everything."
that's I love that. Oh, that's perfect. All right. So I need to can't count something again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Dang it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Wait. So all I
Huh.
had to do was grab this.
Yeah, and not to, rub salt into the wound here necessarily, but, I do think that a little bit of prep would have been, just maybe
Okay.
slightly advisable because there are some diagrams
Acceptable.
that people have shared in the forum here
Oh,
that,
I should
show
pay attention to that.
specifically how many floors there are. Um, like the top one, for instance, has 33 floors, and the bottom section that you're looking at now has 26. So,
I see that. I see that.
but you know,
Yeah. Oh, that's good times, good times. What did I do here though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
it's pretty close.
It's close. 26. I was not that far off. So what I
Yeah,
want to do then is I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to come across here. Delete, delete. Push pull this back till it goes away, and then take that. In theory, if I take this down here to here, those breaks should line up with my. It actually lines up perfect. Look at those.
I tell you, that's how you know you're a pro.
I guess so, or just lucky. I'll take luck. I'll take
Yeah,
luck, man. All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna cut a couple of corners here because I appreciate very much. Thank you for sharing. If you shared in the forum, thank you. You're awesome, and I'm not disregarding it. I'm just conscious of the fact that I got about 20 minutes left to finish whatever I'm going to finish, and I want to get something on the base here.
yeah.
Uh,
We're doing it for the thumbnail here, folks.
that's there's a point where it's just about that. So I'm going to option copy this to here. Maybe I should just do two sides because you can't see the whole thing in the thumbnail anyhow. All right, that's a little too much. That's taking a
Yeah,
little too far.
we're getting desperate now.
Yep. All right, and I don't want to distort it this way too much. So even though it does kind of look like it stretches out there, so I'm going to take. Uh,
Yeah, duplicate it in the outer shell, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think I'm going to grab this by like this corner here and option copy that to
Yeah,
there. There
looks
we go.
good.
Those two will work. I don't know what it is about solid tools. I think solid tools used to be less dependable than they are now, but I do get scared occasionally of using solid tools. All right, so let's.
So when you get this error with solid tools that something isn't, playing ball, is your go-to approach to use Solid Inspector?
It is. Well, usually what I'll do, and this could have been fixed, is take a look at it in 3D real quick, and I would have noticed that there's no back on this at all. Big. That's an issue, and oh man. All right, let's see if I can. Easy fix is intersect with selection. Let it break those. Yes, that doesn't always work, but sometimes it does, and it did, and it's good. All right. So I'm just going to do this once to this one piece, delete the other copy I made, and then just recopy this. And then,
Yeah, I feel like that's the nature of the beast when modeling these skyscrapers. There's a lot of like kind of like tedious
yeah.
manual tasks that you have to do.
Yeah, because you're either looking at repeating stuff or you're looking at stuff that almost repeats and is slightly different each time it goes up, which I feel like that is a recurring thing. So we've done a couple of towers. Whoops, I don't think I deleted that last one. I did not.
Yeah. Also, a quick comment here in the chat. How do you move around so smoothly? I figured this is a good opportunity for you to plug
I
3D
will.
connection.
So if you look at the overhead camera, it's just off screen, but you can see this thing that I'm putting my hand on right here. This is a 3D mouse. This is specifically the Space Mouse Enterprise from 3D Connection, and it allows me to move the camera around the model as if I had a scale version of that model in my hand. So you twist it this way, I could twist it this way, uh, and it just makes moving quicker and easier. We all get used to, as SketchUp users, we get used to doing, this kind of thing, which is awesome. It is a wonderful way to navigate in 3D space. I love it. Uh, but not having to use that mouse at all to move in 3D space, so I have reserved this. I can do things like I can go clean up my UI. I can grab the next tool that I'm going to use, all while I'm moving around 3D space. Plus, for presentation, this looks so much nicer than this.
Yeah,
This
that's
isn't
how it would
bad.
be. That's how it would be if I was streaming, actually. You guys would all probably, get motion sick, but
All right. So now we are again at that point where I got to figure out how to best, quickest, easiest chop this thing up. So I got to do this on two pieces, but then I also got to carry this through. So before I do anything, I'm gonna grab this option and copy this over to here. I know it's gonna go into the building, and that's fine. And I'm gonna grab this one right here. Um, I was talking about how originally I was thinking about using intersect and then some joint push pull kind of stuff. I'm
mhm.
kind of wondering if that would still work. Um, I wouldn't be able to maintain my separate pieces for the white sections from the silver sections, but I could, in theory, intersect with the model and then pull those pieces back out. Kind
Yeah,
of sounds like a fun thing to try, right?
yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do.
In the final hour, let's do something destructive.
That's right. What could go wrong? But see, I've learned. I've learned enough to go,
There you go. Thanks, Tyson.
I'm going to break it all. No problem. All right. So actually, here, I'm going to do that twice real quick because I'm going to do bad things. All right. I'm going to just take this one. I'm going to scale this. Actually, grab this, scale it, and I want to make it very deep like that. And I'm going to bring it in like this. And now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab just this face. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say intersect face with model. And that should give
Okay.
me a beautiful grid pattern. Now, if while I'm in here, I'm in the geometry and I click, where's my colors? There we go. I color white right here. You.
Oh man.
Let me try again. We'll just do exactly what we did before. All right, there we go. Should I do it more than once for some reason? All right, so now I should be able to delete this and come in here. I can color just this like that, and then I can pull it out 6 inches.
There you go.
That, and I got it. They're white. They stick off the same amount as the other pieces on the outside.
That's
All
the
right,
way
this
to
could
do it.
work. This could work. Let's see. I'll take this one. Same thing. I'm going to grab it. Oop, grab this. Scale it. Make it ridiculously big. Bring it in here. This one's going to be a little bit different because when I come in here, what I'll have to do is I'll have to grab each of these faces. One,
Hmm.
2, 3, 4. Still, I mean, still not going to be difficult. It's quicker than what I would have to do it as a separate piece. Right click, intersect face with model, and then see if I can come in and nope, I have to do the same thing again. Grab that. Not quite sure why that's happening. That's an interesting one that
Yeah, to be fair, I thought that this approach that you're taking now of kind of, just building the mesh and then just, intersecting everything was what you were going to do. But then you gave us all the, visual treat of doing it the hard way, the long way. So you
there we go.
you got to see it both ways, folks.
That's right. Best of, well, not best of, at least both worlds, whether it turned out to be the best or not. And I just got to come down here, I got to trickle down and just hit each of these with a little white.
Yep. Then push pull
Then
and double click.
that's right. So if you're not aware of that trick, if you push pull once, you can push pull the exact same dimension a second time by double clicking. So if I come in here, I'm going to grab this one, pull it out 6, and now I can just cruise right up the building, double click, double click, double
Yeah,
click,
that's
double click,
one of
double
the
click.
most helpful things that I've learned in, the last like decade of using SketchUp is just the double click.
And it works for offset too.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. All right,
I gotta
there we
say, I
go.
mean, we have 18 minutes to go here, but it's really coming together. This
This is
is,
really, it's showing up. I like this. I was genuinely okay. So, and I do want to call this out because it is by design. This was very intentional. But I was saying one of the issues was that let me show you the problem that could have happened. So if I come in here, I'm going to grab this again, right click, intersect face with model. It'll break it up, and then for whatever reason, it's interior face. But I'll just do it again. No big deal. Right click, intersect face with model. All right, now we have all these separate pieces. So if I came in here, and I was talking about merging this face earlier, if I had come in here and just pulled this out like this, now to come in and color this would be, in a word, painful.
yeah,
Because what I'd probably do is grab all of it, color it all white, and then manually come back and color each window back with the silver. So it is super important if you have a situation like this where I'm going to add depth. This doesn't have to be a complex like this. This is like window sills on a residence or,
yeah,
or trim or something like that. If you color it when it's flat, so I put my white in here when it's flat. Now when I pull it out, the new faces that come out are already colored that same or colored the same as the faces. So huge time saver, and that was what I was trying to avoid because I didn't want to end up clicking 500 times to color that in.
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that's a good call out. Always, yeah, when things are 2D on a flat plane, that is the time to add materials if you're gonna add depth to like, yeah, like you said, windows or skyscrapers even, anything.
Theoretically. All right. This one's similar to that last piece. I'm just have to grab all the face pieces. I think there's fewer faces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Friday the 13th. Just like face with model. And then any of these faces that didn't break. I'm just guessing. I'm just clicking down here to see what happened.
It's kind of like what is it, like Minesweeper or something?
Yeah. Looks like a lot of these worked out well. They didn't have issues.
Yeah,
I like it. All right. All right. So just some of these at the top. Right click, intersect face with model. Break those. All right. Now just grab each of these 13 sections. I didn't even, did you realize it was Friday the 13th? I didn't even think about that.
honestly, no.
I mean,
That is spooky.
I've already modeled Jason's mask from the Friday the 13th movies. That was a while ago. But yeah, I don't know. We could have modeled. I don't know. We've already done so much of that stuff. Haunted houses. I don't know.
Yeah,
What does bad luck look like in a model?
I think we just gotta, next time model the unseen 13th floor of a
There you go.
skyscraper, and it could be anything that we want it to.
That's true. Pulls out 6 inches, and I'm just gonna again same thing I did before. Now just double click, double click. You never guess what's next. Double click, double click, double click, double click, double click,
There you
double
go.
click.
Yeah, the good old double click.
There we go. All right, and now we get rid of this piece. I feel good. I feel comfortable getting rid of these extras. I feel good about where we ended up.
I think you should
Um,
save. Just
oh,
saying.
that's sure. Sure,
Nice.
sure, suppose. All right. Last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab some of these columns because it looks like we do have a leany I. So, and then yeah, I think this is gonna conclude our session.
Yeah. And we're just pretending like the bottom half that jets out of the building doesn't exist. This is purely, a focus on the top half
That's right.
of the building.
A focused modeling session.
Yeah. But I mean, it shows you. I mean, what were you working off? A couple reference photos and a handful of elevations, basically. So the fact that you were able to put this together and the windows look on point and the columns here look on point, I think that you can call it a success.
Actually, I think it turned out kind of nice. I like how that turned out.
Yeah.
It is fun. It is cool to see what you can do with. I mean, I don't think you should go out of your way to get as little information as possible, but you can really put a lot together with not too terribly much. And I
Yeah.
just think that's awesome.
Yeah. Plus, we got to learn some cool lessons, double clicking, painting flat surfaces,
Yeah,
solid inspector, outer shell, intersection of faces. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in today's string.
it really was. Make that bigger, and then cover up that bottom part. There we
Yeah,
go.
and even, creating geometry specifically for the purposes of covering up other geometry, that is super helpful as well.
Not everything has to be, real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, those columns go into the ground, too, in
They're
real
in there.
life.
This is not a structural model. This is not Tekla. All right, there we go. Look, I think that turned out pretty sweet. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go get rid of my backups. I'm gonna slide this right over to to me. Hey, hey, hold this for me. There we go. Right there. Just drop that.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks cool. All right, thanks. Thank you to Matt for spotting this and thinking that would be a good thing for Aaron to model. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah, this is a fun one. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and watching us get through here. It's a little bit of bummer. It would have been kind of cool to have more detail in the bottom section. Maybe you guys totally may have shared that, but I got to be conscious too of you know how big a bite I go after when I do these sorts of things. But
Yeah. I think when we were
I love
talking
it.
about this internally earlier this week, deciding to model this, I think we all kind of looked at the photos here and we were like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a piece of cake, no problem. But I think that this actually ended up being quite a bit more complicated than we thought.
Yeah, this was some subtleties. I'm not even sure. Like as I look at the arcs and stuff, looking against this, I don't know how much of this is like you know fisheye effect. There's obviously some exaggeration of the shapes, but I'm not 100% sure that just those two profiles gave us everything we needed. So, but turned out cool nonetheless. Uh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
We're gonna call it
great
right
job.
there. So thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for spending some time, spending your valuable time. I appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out with us. I know you got other things you could be doing. Hopefully, we made it worth your while. Hopefully, you learned something. Thank you, Justin, for hosting and keeping me on track. I appreciate that very much.
Reminding you to save. But
That's
I'm only saying what's being said in the comments. But
I
hey, I learned a lot of valuable things this stream. It was really cool to kind of see your approach, how you took it on, and the fact that all the different floors lined up was nothing short of a miracle in my world. For you,
I'll take that. Yeah,
yeah,
no, I think that was fun. That was a great time. So yeah, thank you guys all for coming by, watching. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Uh, Stay safe this weekend. Some crazy stuff going on in America and our world. So make good choices. Stay safe. Stay sane. It's getting harder and harder to do that. But that's just for me. That was my comment. Me stay sane.
fair. Yeah. My only
But yeah,
comment is to be careful today. It's Friday the 13th. So,
that's also true.
watch out for, things that are above you and, double check, just your surroundings. Just be
Yeah.
careful.
Don't walk under ladders or cross black cats paths or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you guys
And
very
if you do
much.
see a black cat, be sure to pet it.
Yeah, be
Every
nice.
cats need love too.
That's not their
But yeah,
fault. They don't
thanks,
get to
guys.
choose what they wear out. All right.
100%.
See you guys next week.
All right. Sounds good. See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.